Happy Canada Day! Before I get started, I have to say, like so many of you here, I've been coming to Parliament Hill since I was a little kid for Canada Day. And to be able to stand here before you as your Prime Minister to say thank you for the trust you have given me is a little bit overwhelming. Merci Canada d'être le pays extraordinaire que vous êtes.
For being the extraordinary country that you are.
I would like to first start by recognizing that we are on Algonquin traditional territory. Canadians are often on Indigenous peoples' traditional territory without realizing it, and it's important for all of us to reflect upon that, because the first step of true reconciliation is learning more about one another. Vous savez, quand je vous regarde aujourd'hui,
you know, as I look at you today, I see the one thing that makes Canada a unique country in the world. I see an extraordinary diversity. Canada is one of the most diversified countries in the world, and also one of the most prosperous. And that is not a coincidence. Diversity is our strength. It's something that we have known for a long time. But today, it's something that we are celebrating. We are a country with 2 official languages and more than 100.
Now, I know you didn't do this just to win an election. I know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you understand the enormity of the task that lies ahead. But my main message is to the parents of Trayvon Martin. You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own. Among the fallen were also teachers, men and women who devoted their lives to helping our children fulfill their dreams. So our hearts are broken today. It's the idea held by generations of citizens who believe that America is a constant work in progress, who believe that loving this country requires.
And it is the job of national leadership to reassure in the face of that fear, to explain to people that there is ultimately nothing to be afraid of, just as we have incorporated migrants in this country in the past, we will incorporate migrants in this country in the future. And as well as reassuring, it is the job of national leadership to make sure that we plan services and communities properly so that fear doesn't turn to resentment. Now, there is another path, Mr Speaker, there is another path, and that is seeking to channel that fear and that resentment into political gain. There is another path. And we have seen that other path used in national politics. We saw it used by One Nation. And I am so glad that this nation defeated that spectre of One Nation by coming together, political parties across the divide of this aisle, and putting One Nation last on how to vote.
41 people died at Deans Avenue Mosque, 7 at the Linwood Avenue Mosque, and 1 person has since died in hospital. Over 40 people are being treated for injuries at Christchurch Hospital. They have all been identified, and those names have been shared with members of the community. 2 of those are in critical condition. And also, a 5-year-old child has been transported today to Starship Hospital in Auckland. 3 people have been arrested in relation to this event. 1 Australian citizen will appear in court today, charged with murder. This individual.
I have just been to Buckingham Palace, where Her Majesty the Queen has asked me to form a new government, and I accepted. In David Cameron, I follow in the footsteps of a great modern Prime Minister. Under David's leadership, the government stabilised the economy, reduced the budget deficit, and helped more people into work than ever before. But David's true legacy is not about the economy, but about social justice. From the introduction of same-sex marriage to taking people on low wages out of income tax altogether, David Cameron has led a one-nation government, and it is in that spirit that I also plan to lead. Because not everybody knows this, but the full title of my party is the Conservative and Unionist Party.